Hi, I'm Katie McClelland from De La Soul Yoga, and this is a video tutorial on half moon pose or Ardha Chandrasana. And I'll be cueing you into it from a standing position, warrior three, into half moon. And then I'll show you how to transition into this pose from side angle, which is a really popular way to transition in a typical flow class. So I've got my blocks set up in the two top corners of my mat. I'm standing with my hips square to the front of the mat. So I want to try to maintain this square position with the pelvis as I trace my left leg out behind me. And notice how I already started to hinge forward a little bit. So I don't want to begin in a back bend. I want to keep that neutral spine. So as this leg goes back into extension, I'm going to tip my hips, my torso forward a little bit. So I'm moving into a little bit of flexion in this right hip. And I'm really going to try to keep these ribs down. So with my hands on my hips, I start to lift the back leg up and the upper body travels down at the same rate. Now, of course, in your Virabhadrasana III, warrior three, you can have your fingertips behind you. You can make it a little more difficult, hands out to the sides, you're adding load to the core. And finally, the most challenging variation is to have the arms directly out in front. And you may see how I have to shift some weight back into my standing heel in order to find the balance, the equilibrium there between the front and back of my body. So hands come down to blocks. All right, so make sure this right block is out on the diagonal from the right baby toe. If it's right in front of the foot, it's going to be a lot harder to balance when you lift that back leg. So we want to take it off to the side, okay? Next thing I want you to check for is that this right quadricep is firm, so it's lifting, and that you're already trying to create external rotation in this right leg by drawing the crease of the right hip back. You can even take your hand to that crease and pull it back. So we're trying to keep this knee facing over the middle of the foot or even to the baby toe side of the foot. So I'm going to make this leg very, very stiff, almost as if there was a cast on it, and I don't want the knee to move. I'm going to start to roll the pelvis out now. So as I roll the belly button open towards you, I'm still working on pulling the crease of this right hip back. So there's a lot of work going on in this right glute. From here, I'm not opening all the way. We don't want to open all the way. In fact, this back leg is a little bit internally rotated, just like you would have it for triangle pose. So you see how the back foot's turned in and this left hip is coming forward a little bit. This is the same alignment we're looking for in half moon. So I'm actually going to lead with the outer edge of that left heel as I lift the leg up. Still working the strength of this leg as much as I can, trying to keep those ribs in. The left arm goes up. I stay as stiff as I can through my torso so that as I look up, the only thing that moves is my cervical spine, the neck. And then I can lift this leg higher, but I still want to turn it in a little bit. I don't want to turn it out. That'll create a lot of tension in the left side of my lower back. And then to come down, place the left hand on the block, square the pelvis, step the left foot back, and rise to a standing position. If you're coming into the pose from side angle with or without a block, the way I would cue it is I would say, reach your left fingertips towards the ceiling, drop your left arm behind your back, look down at your right foot, place your left hand about a foot away from your right baby toe on the diagonal. Step powerfully into the right leg or into the right foot, lift the left leg up, reach the left arm up, turn the gaze up towards the fingertips. And then to come out of it, bend the standing leg slightly and step back. Warrior two is a nice pose to come out of it with. So that completes our tutorial on Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Namaste.